Snow falls, nature slumbers, winter's flurry stops new growth. December brings the season filled with laughter and new hope. Kindness abounds, good deeds seem to thrive. Hate is put down while true brotherhood comes alive. Love grows at Christmas time when the best that's within us is willingly given. Hearts heal at Christmas time when the seeds of forgiveness are planted within our hearts. Soft words spoken freely fill the air with joyful sounds. Warm smiles shared with gladness lift the spirits of those worn down. Families come home, strangers make no friends. Happiness flows when we reach out with open hands. Love grows at Christmas time when the best that's within us is willingly given. Hearts heal at Christmas time when the seeds of forgiveness are planted within our hearts. A little tenderness can spread until the whole world feels refreshed. We all are blessed with love. Is willingly given. When the seeds of forgiveness are planted within our hearts. Christmas blessings Hearts heal at Christmas time when the seeds of forgiveness are planted within our
Good morning. Love at Christmas time. What a wonderful thought to have in our mind, that the Christ presence that is in us is the presence of love, and how we can go ahead and offer that so very freely and lovingly. So good to see you, all of you. Look at this sanctuary. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for, with your spirit of love, honoring what we're trying to do here. That is truly the gift of love. When it doesn't sometimes feel right, it doesn't feel, perfect, but because we love each other, because we are that presence of love, we do all that we can to be that love so that we can move through this experience lovingly. Welcome, Facebook family, YouTube family, everyone, and all of you that are here today. The spirit of love is truly in this place because you're here. Because where you are, God is. And God is the very spirit in you that is total love. So I'm Reverend Luz. If you're watching for the very first time, Unity of Citrus is a positive path with spiritual living. And in this place, our mission is to create a loving, healing spiritual community where everyone, every single person is welcomed and accepted here. So I'm going to get right to the service. I'm inviting you to gently close your eyes. Get real comfortable, if that feels okay with you. Get just real comfortable. Get into this place. So many of you have been meditating so far, and I know you're all here in this sweet space where we create something beautiful. Loving presence. That which is in us and through us and around us, wherever we are. We are grateful for this total and complete realization, awareness that love is who we are. For God is love. And we are created in the image and the likeness of God. So we are love. And so this morning as we gather together, we hold that thought, that affirmation, I am the presence of love. And so with this awareness, we enter our time together with open hearts, open minds, receptive, truly receptive to the indwelling presence within us to reveal itself more and more and more. With a heart of gratitude for everyone that so diligently supports this community and each other, we enter the moments together, aware of the Christ presence that is us, grateful for that divine awareness, and joyful for the opportunity to be together. And so it is. Namaste. Would you say this morning's affirmation with me? There is one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God the good, all-powerful, all-knowing, everywhere present, right here, right now, God. Namaste.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are
This is the time for meditation, a time to calm your body and mind, a time just to relax and breathe. I will use a chime to bring in the breath and to focus on the state of meditation. At the end of the meditation, I will chime 3 times to bring us back to the surroundings of our being. You are welcome to close your eyes if you like, or enjoy the surrounding essence of your current location. December is the power of life. The color of red is our 12th power. Life is our precious gift from divine wisdom. Life. Today we will focus on the power of life. Life. Listen to the inner stillness that calms and protects you. Breathe. Listen. Life, infinite mind that is all-knowing and all-loving. Breathe in infinite mind. Life, faith in knowing that love is all and all is love. Breathe in faith. Life, eternal and everlasting. Breathe in the eternal. I invite each of you to listen to what is alive in you with the power of life. Listen, infinite, faith, and eternal life. In the silence, just listen. You are beautiful and whole. You are perfect life. Breathe. As we move into this present moment, rejoice in your life. Listen, infinite, faith, eternal. Namaste.
Get quite a workout on Sundays. Up and down, up and down. Probably the most challenging is taking this mask off and on. But anyway, good morning again. So obviously, today's topic is about love. We lit the candle this morning that represents love. Its light reminds us that that love is within us. It is who we are and what we come from. So, of all the attributes of God that we can think of, undoubtedly, love is the most beautiful, the most powerful, and the one that is most needed. Wouldn't you agree? It's not always easy to give it if we come from our human nature. But if we come from our Christ nature, it flows. It flows effortlessly from us. I came across, as I was preparing for this message, one of my favorite definitions of love is from Ernest Holmes. He says that love is the self-givingness of spirit into creation. Unity teaches that there is only one presence, one life, one source, one being that is all and everything. There is only one life, and we are one with it. God's life is our life. In Unity, we also teach that God is everywhere present, omnipresent. It's all powerful, omnipotent, all-knowing, omniscient, and all good, omnibenevolent. The life, and so we don't accept that there is any place or any aspect of reality where God is not. God is everywhere present. That's our number one principle. The life, the energy, the creativity, the possibility of spirit exists everywhere. In my life, in your life, and in all the spaces in between. This is the power of our teaching. Knowing that where we stand is holy ground, and that where we are, God is. There is great power in that. Can you feel that? Each of us is a unique, unrepeatable demonstration of God. The fingerprint of God. So God is love, and everything is created from this field of love. And we get to be the instruments that can reveal it. Isn't that so sacred? In Eastern tradition, there is this idea of the formless, the void, nirvana, it's often been said. It is the place of pure potentiality, where there is infinite wisdom and intelligence and love and power in its pure, unadulterated, sacred way. And what Ernest Holmes is trying to show us through this definition, his definition of love, is that yes, there is this formless, this pure potentiality of God, and that it reveals itself in form, in its creation. And love is why. The reason that you're here, the reason that this whole universe exists, is because the infinite chose to experience itself as creation. So our lives are the expression of this deep reality, which is love. And we're called this Advent season into a deeper realization of this reality, and that we have the capacity to reveal this love. How awesome is that? Now, as humans, we are always creating. We create in the image and likeness of God. God is creator, and we have the capacity to create. We create with our thoughts, our feelings. And so we become co-creators with God. When we create from a consciousness of unity, of wholeness, of love, the things that we demonstrate in our lives will look like that. They will look like that. And when we're holding thoughts of separation, of lack, we demonstrate that too. Yes, we do. This is how unity explains the origin of evil. Humanity is creating all of the time. And when we create from a sense of separation, a sense of distance from God, the allness of God, we create what the forms that look like God is absent in that. So our work is to realign ourselves with the truth of reality, with the truth of who we are and what we are, and then we can demonstrate love on earth. Until we do that, we cannot. We are not in the flow with the givingness of spirit, which is love, where we are not in that unity, wholeness, love consciousness. We're like fish out of the water. We're not swimming in the sea of what we were designed to be and how we were designed to show up. There's a short poem by Hafiz. He is a 14th century mystic, Sufi mystic, that speaks of this experience of oneness. It's called Damn Thirsty. Yes. It says, first the fish needs to say, something ain't right about this camel ride. And then, I'm feeling so damn thirsty. I'll leave it up for just a few moments. Such a simple line, just a simple little line, and yet it's full with so much imagery. What Hafiz is showing us is that we are the fish. We are designed to live in this ocean of love. We are love. But we sometimes get out of that ocean of love, and we get on the camel, and then we venture off into something that is unnatural for us. It doesn't feel right. Something ain't right about this camel ride. You're not in that space of peace any longer. You're not feeling any joy or any peace. Something ain't right. And you thirst. And the only way to quench the thirst of your soul is to go back home to the ocean of love where you belong. This is what happens to us when we remove ourselves from the deep awareness of oneness. The deep knowing that God is living through us and through everyone else. And we get into a place of judgment and unforgiveness and criticism and resistance and resentment and, oh my goodness, the list can go on and on and on. Something ain't right with that camel ride that you're on or that I may be on. Because I'm not exempt. We're not intended to live that way. As a child of God, love is our true nature. It is something that it is not something that we have to go out there to find. Because love is who we are. It is going back and home into that ocean of love to reconnect to the truth. I love Rumi saying, Rumi says that your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that have built against it. In the Epistle of John, that book is filled with mystical understanding of the nature and the reality of love. And so I'm going to read a couple of verses from that book this morning. They come from chapter 4. He's writing to followers of Christ. He says, dear friend, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. When we are loving, when we are in that givingness of spirit, we are in alignment and in harmony with all of creation and we participate in the life of God. And when we're not, then we have forgotten our birthright. Something ain't right about that camel ride. I think maybe that could be a mantra we can use whenever we're finding ourselves out of that place of love. Something ain't right, this camel ride. And then it goes on to say, dear friends, since God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God, but if we love one another, God lives in us, and his love is made complete in us. This is how we know that we live in him, and he in us. He has given us his Spirit. Many moons ago, I worked at a nonprofit organization. I was hired to be the assistant of the director. And there was this woman there where I worked who seemed very withdrawn. She didn't have many friends. And for some inexplicable reason, I just kind of was drawn to her. And from day one, I walked over to her desk and I said to her, would you like to go to lunch with me? And she would answer me in a very annoying voice, no. And I would try again the next day, and she said, no. One day she said, don't you get it? I don't want to go to lunch with you. And so I started to say, well, okay, I get it, you know. But one day, so I stopped asking, because obviously, you know, knocking, if it doesn't open, what do you do? So one day, she came over to me and asked me, are you going to lunch today? And I said, yes, would you like to come? And she said, yes. Well, it was the most awkward lunch experience I have ever had because there were very few words exchanged. But we went to lunch. That was a breakthrough. It really was. And so the next day, her tone with me was a little softer when I went over and I said, would you like to go to lunch? And she goes, okay, you know. And over time, what happened was that I kept offering her a little kindness here and a little kindness there. And eventually, she opened up to me. And what she said to me was that it wasn't that she didn't like me. She said, you know, that position that you were hired for was a position that I wanted. I had worked really hard for it. And like many other things in my life, I had been bypassed. So she had been angry, and she had been disappointed, and she had nowhere else to let this out on, and so she let it out on me. But I'm telling you that, and then she said to me, I'm sorry. You have been nothing but kind to me. That woman is still my friend 40 years later. We develop a deep love and respect for one another. Somehow, I earned the right to hear her story, to be vulnerable with me. You see, kindness and compassion and forgiveness and patience and humility and generosity, all those things are seeds of love. And when we sow these seeds, people may not respond right away. It may seem like your loving presence is not making a difference. But the seeds of love that we sow will never, ever die. Not too long ago, these researchers, they found a seed in an airtight coffin that was 4,000 years old. They do this through carbon copying. I'm not even sure how they really do it, but they determined that it was a 4,000-year-old seed. And so they went ahead and they planted it to see what would happen. And to their amazement, it took root and it grew. So in the same way, the seeds of love that we plant in another person's life may at first seem like it's not doing any good. But that's because the soil of their heart is hardened by disappointment, by all these other things, sadness, whatever it may be. But at the right time, that soil will soften. And the seed that you sowed will take root and will bring the harvest. The love that you give is never, ever, ever wasted. Ever. When Jesus was ending his ministry, he spoke to his followers and he said, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another. And they will know that you are my disciples by the love that you give to one another." So if indeed we are going to get off the camel and return to, yeah, that camel, right? Can you visualize that, a fish on a camel? But anyway, if indeed we're going to get off that camel and return to the true nature of our calling and our creation, people will see it. Jesus, our way shower, he taught his Jewish community a deeper awareness of the mystical truth that we are one with Spirit, that life is revealing itself through us, and that the kingdom of God is right here within us. And his followers, Jesus' followers, will cling to him for his teachings. And guess that what? Something began to happen. People were being lifted to a new understanding of life and love. And people began to practice the teachings of Jesus. And they committed themselves to love one another. If we truly want to, if we truly want to step away or step into who we truly are, let's say it that way. If we truly want to step into who we truly are, if we want to get off that camel, I know I do, and drink deeply, deeply of the living waters of life that is within you, the true nature of our reality, then our actions need to be motivated by love. And our words need to be infused by the love of God. And when we do that, we will be different. People will say, something has changed in her. Something has changed in him. They're not the same. I remember my family saying that to me. You know, I remember having difficulty with my family, accepting where I was, and I wanted to bulldoze right ahead. You were wrong, I am right, you know? And then I realized more and more that all I needed to do was be the presence of love. And they say that to me, you have changed. And I have. Joe can tell you. I know we live in times of great polarization, I know that. And times of othering, you know, there's a them and the me, you know. So we don't quite yet moved from the me to the we. And love is often offered with conditions. You know, like, I will love you if you do this for me. Or, I will love that person if they agree with me. It's harder to love when they don't, isn't it? And it's different. It's hard. And yet Jesus tells us, love our enemies. Now, he's not saying that we are enemies against each other. Sometimes that means that we are not perhaps walking in harmony with one another. Maybe our beliefs are different. And Jesus wasn't saying, okay, those people that are going against your grain, that you need to invite them to your home and have a dinner party with them. Didn't mean that. What it means is that we, with the awareness that God is in everyone, that God is love is the very presence of each of us. With that awareness, that can we at least begin to recognize it and see it in others, even when it's difficult. Be willing to recognize the Christ in everyone. When we say namaste, that means that I am willing to recognize, I recognize the light of the Christ in you. The light in me sees it. It can be difficult, but can we connect, go back into that ocean of love and be willing to see each other as we truly, really are beyond this physical appearance? And then offer love lavishly. It will not be wasted. You can't run out of it. So today I ask you, how shall we love? How do we do that? Well, love is visible. You can't say to me, I love you, and not show it. You know, if I can't say, Joe, I love you, and then there is no evidence of that. Love is made visible because love is the self-givingness of spirit. And it seeks to show itself in a multitude of ways. I don't know if you read this book by Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Languages of Love. It's a really good book. You should read it if you have a chance. Anyway, in that book, he describes 5 ways that we can experience and express love. So he says, well, you know, it could be gift giving, or it could be quality time, really being present with someone, or giving words of affirmation to someone, or acts of service, or physical touch. How hard it has been for us not to be able to do that physical touching. It's been hard. But there are other ways that you can express love. And I'm not saying you can't hug each other. You can tap each other. Be creative. But find out it's not always for everyone. We receive love in many different ways. Sometimes the love that we give is more quality time. Or the love that we give is words of affirmation or acts of service. So I think that what this presence of love within us is asking us to do is to extend beyond our comfort zone. And love in the way that you know that someone wants to be loved. Love in that way. So make love visible, number 1. Number 2, let go of scorecards. So often we love someone and then we keep score. Well, I did this for them and I did this other, and what did they do for me? You know? Yeah. So be that giving nature of God that is within you. Just give, expecting nothing in return. Just be love. This is from Hafiz also. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, you owe me. And look what happens with a love like that. It lights up the whole sky. Love, give love just for the sake of giving. And as you give love, be willing to accept love. I've had a hard time with that most of my life. Accepting the love that others want to offer me. And lots of times it's because sometimes we don't feel worthy of it. But you are. You are a beautiful and magnificent expression of God, worthy of all the love that comes your way. And finally, how shall we show love? Love yourself. Love yourself. Find ways to be gentler and kinder and forgiving and more compassionate and nurturing to yourself. You see, we cannot love anyone when we can love ourselves. It starts there. Love ourselves. The Dalai Lama had said that love and compassion are necessities. They are not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. We have come to be that love. More than 2,000 years ago, in a very humble manger, Jesus was born, the story says. He was born in love, he taught love, and exuded love. And at the heart of the ministry was love. Love for God, love for one another, love for self. So I invite you this Advent season to move into a deeper realization that you are the expression of God. Where you are, God is love, and that you are being called to lavish that love onto the world. Because don't you think the world really needs it? And you know what? You need it. You need to walk in that awareness. I need to walk in that awareness. Life will then become more peaceful, more joyful, more of what we were intended to experience. So before I leave, I want to leave you with this amazing poem. Some of you may have seen it, but it's worth to show it again. Oh,
Be beautiful apology and promise, unashamed. Be pots of gold and folklore, unbelievable. Live love like the little engine that could. Persistent and striving. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Live love like puppies. Unconditional wagging tail, best friend to Adam's sons and Eve's daughters. Live love like music. Be orchestrated symphony, harmony of heartstrings and beats. Be harmony. Live love at all cost. Like all life will be lost, like oceans will evaporate without your lamentations. Live love like healing touch. Purposeful and divine, be necessary. Live love like the deer that pants for water. Be thirsty, repentant heart. Live love like the sun. Be glorious light. Be nutrient. Be brand new mercy. Be gravity, hold it down. Be atmosphere, shift. Be magnetic pole, centrifugal force, uncontrollable truth. Be scientific and predictable. Live love, letting love exist in its own time-space continuum. It isn't to be rushed. There's room enough for all of us. Live love like it's what runs through your veins. Like your heart is on lease. Like it's the only thing you've ever learned. The image you were created in. Live love like God. Be honor, intention, resolute. Let love do its holy work. Love your neighbor. Love yourself. There is no greater command than love. Live love.
And so I challenge you today to live love. Be that. Keep going. Whenever you find yourself on that camel, say something ain't right with this ride, and go back and reconnect to the waters of life, the ocean of love, and live love. Namaste.
I don't care if the house is packed or the strings of light are broken. I don't care if the gifts are wrapped or there's nothing here to open. Love is not a toy and no paper can conceal it. Love is simply joy that I'm home. I don't care if the carpet's stained, we've got food upon our table. I don't care if it's gonna rain, our little room is warm and stable. Love is who we are, and no season can contain it. Love would never fall for that. We sing, ooh. Why so scared that you'll mess it up when perfection keeps you haunted? All we need is your best, my love. That's all anyone ever wanted. Love is how we do. Let no judgment overrule it. Love, I look to you and I sing.
It's that time in our service now to give of our gifts and our tithes and our offerings. We are so grateful for all of you who can be with us. Your tithes and gifts are greatly needed to support our Unity community. Your gifts make it possible to support our ministry outreach. Please take your gifts in your hand and affirm your offering blessing with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have and all that I give and all that I receive. I send forth this gift with my blessings and my love. We know that it is given in love and received in love, and that it is moved through the ministry with the energy of divine love out into the world as good. And so it is. Thank you, God. Amen. If you would read with me the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for attending today. Reverend Luce has a few closing words.
Oh my goodness, is that me? So I wanted to, I've been using this opportunity to try to make a few announcements at the end. Next week we will have our memorial service. We will be decorating our memorial tree, and we will be using doves this year. So in your weekly wake up and on our website, you have an opportunity to submit the names of the people that you, or pets, that you want to memorialize on the tree here. And then when we have our little service, we'll make sure that if you're watching on Facebook, that we will read out those names. And those of you that want to stay afterwards for the service can fill it out on yourself and actually put it on the tree. The prayer chaplains will help me with it. I know they will. So do that. Check the website and you can put the names of someone. So thank you. Live love. Live love. Forgive often. Be compassionate. And remember that your light and your love is so desperately needed. I just want to say one last thing. I want to welcome Pam. Pam, can you stand? Pam is new to our community, and so we want to welcome her. And we haven't had a chance to welcome these two officially. Would you please stand? These two are new to our community as well, so we welcome them. And Joey, thank you for bringing them. Joey has been our little ambassador. Thank you. So turn around to your neighbor and please offer them peace and love. as you leave this morning. And remember to leave from the back rows. The ushers will escort you. Peace and love to you. Peace and love to each and every one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And ushers, would you escort them outside? And feel free to outside to congregate and socialize. And I will try to make my way out there quickly so I can say a quick hi to each one of you. I got to get my mask though.
Coming together to celebrate life, shining like stars in a brilliant night sky, here for each other in joy and in pain. Grateful for this family, spiritual community. The love we share is sunshine after rain. All is well when we are together, greater, stronger, all is well. When we're together, it feels like home. Kindred spirits never alone. Let's join hands and sing our song. Sing our music is the